Oh, Amanda and Anna, please. Hello.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ka mihi nui kia koutou katoa. My name's Anna Canton. This is my colleague Amanda Jenkins. We are both film producers based here in Christchurch, each with 20 years experience in the industry with production companies and projects based here in Christchurch. We have a long-term commitment to the screen industry. We're both co-chairs of Te Puna Matarau, which is the Canterbury Screen Industry Association, which is a group of filmmakers, local filmmakers that advocate for the support, growth and development of our screen industry here in Christchurch. And today we're here to talk to you about our submission to the annual plan. And thanks so much for your time today.
So nice to see you all again. It doesn't feel that long ago that we were sitting here talking to the long-term plan. As you know, our screen industry is really blossoming, it's really growing, and we've had incredible support from the council, funding Christchurch NZ and Screen Canterbury with an incentive, which has absolutely gone gangbusters with an incredible return. But what we're really here today is to seek an ongoing commitment from council to this, to the grant and to the screen office, and a commitment of $500,000 per year on the screen grants for the next 3 years. We have $300 left from the grant until 2026, a significant reduction on investment compared to the previous 3 years. So having that long-term commitment will support the growth of our industry, which is full of potential. Christchurch makes up only 3%, 88 million of the national film GDP, which is 2.7 billion. Primarily sitting in Auckland, we want a slice of that pie to increase our presence and financial participation in this booming industry and sector. And why this grant is important to us: we need to grow, as I just said, and we'd like to grow from 3% to 10% in the next 10 years, which is achievable. From 88 million to 220 million of the screen GDP. Build positive long-term business relationships with large productions and companies and studios coming into Christchurch. Larger productions means bigger investment and budgets, and more likely to return a second season or production if incentivised and have a positive experience. And so far, that is exactly what's happening. We want them to stay longer and spend more in the region for pre-production and post.
So I'm just going to speak on the previous success of the council's investment into screen. So in the last 4 years of growth and development in our industry, there's been approximately $1.8 million invested in the Screen Canterbury production grant from the council, and we've had up to $17 million return spent back in the city based on that $1.8 million investment, which is quite significant. We've had over 600 contracted roles created, jobs created here in the city, with 11 major projects being filmed to global acclaim, and as Amanda says, with potential for returning large projects or production companies coming back, bringing projects again. So a great example of that is Bookworm by Firefly Films, and they also returned again just at the end of last year with Holy Days, with a 150k grant, spending $2.5 million in the region just in that sort of 3-4 month period.
So as we're talking about success, here's just a list of some of the incredible productions that you have helped fund and support and bring revenue into the city of about $1.8 million. Yes, as Anna said, Holy Days received $150,000 out of the 24 grant round and promptly created the production. It finished at Christmas. It has just finished its picture lock. So I suspect they're taking it to Cannes to sell to the global market. So they spent about $2.5 million back into the region. just with local principal photography. We hired over 100 local people, and it was a 3 to 4 month period. This is pretty fast turnaround for a revenue. The wider benefit to the non-screen services such as hospitality, accommodation, tourism, travel, rental, hire, leases and purchases goes straight back into the city and the region. It attracts new ratepayers for booming industry. They relocate down here. This is actually happening because of the activity, and the regional attraction, is also spreading further afield. Traitors Season 2 came down and filmed in Timaru. It's still within the region. It had nothing to do with the grant, but it's it backed on to what's happening here. So the Christchurch is a lead and a gateway to the sector. And just a quick note, if you haven't seen Head South, it's on in the cinemas, and that was a Christchurch production that was shot, listed up there. Yeah,
great. So the Christchurch screen GDP grew from 2020 to 2024 from 78 million to 105, which is a growth rate of about 13%, which is pretty incredible, and that's lines up with those incentives, investment from the council. So Screen Canterbury NZ is our local film office or screen office. They administer the grant and are a complete central hub to making this economic development boom in our city for our industry. So it's long-term economic development, managing relationships, international, local, and domestic as well. So the screen office currently is a team of one, and which is an incredible feat with the success of the screen production grant, as we've just demonstrated with those 11 projects. Because of that, the screen office has just been nominated for a Global Production Award just very recently. I think it was a couple of days ago, and those awards will be announced in Cannes next month, and that would only have come about through this incentive to bring those projects here to demonstrate our locations, our people, our industry. So that's an amazing win. But as I say, team of one. Our production, our screen office needs support. It needs FTE. It needs strategic leadership support, and it needs funding to support those incentives and activity to flourish. For example, looking at international co-productions. There's research going into what does India look like as a market partner, that sort of thing. But absolutely, the screen office needs support to flourish and grow.
Needs more investment. So future opportunities in Christchurch. It already has become an international screen-friendly city. It is coined at the moment as the Screen City of the South. We need to own that, and I think we've got a really good sort of trailblazing industry at the moment to hook onto. The Screen Grant is an activator and a building block of screen growth here in Christchurch. It does its job. It supports and attracts new productions. You are backing a winning horse. Larger productions and long-term productions, and this will grow post-production on the back end. We want to have a full ecosystem. That can only happen if we continue along the path that we're going. Studio infrastructure, UC Kawawa Studios have broken ground and have got construction of a smaller soundstage, which is amazing and terribly exciting. But we do need a proper soundstage. It needs to become a city asset and identify as infrastructure for the future. There are options that we already have here in the city that we could talk about. Encourage new ratepayers to relocate down here and build our industry. And we also want international global recognition for the locations, which has just been mentioned, and screen stories and our reputation. This adds value to our tourism attraction. So the grassroots industry pipeline from education to industry is already happening through the likes of the UC Digital Screen Campus and Kawawa Studios. But we have to keep them here. We have to keep those students with talent and technical ability here in the city. We can't have them flood up to Auckland. So that pipeline is a serious consideration. How do we support that in the future? And that then dovetails into screen business and development and growth. Our region is our advantage. Global attraction here is big business on the global stage. And now our shows have gone global.
Yeah.
So this is an industry that moves at pace. Previous investment into this industry has proven significant financial returns. Christchurch is actively growing an industry worth locally on the international stage for the long term. We want to continue to invest in our industry and gain significant economic growth in return. So I guess the big question is, are you willing to put more money into this and make it available to help us become a screen city? So thank you very much for listening.
Kia ora.
Thank you. Any questions? Anybody? No, that's good. You are Sarah, and then Yanni.
Thanks. I'm just interested because my recollection is that we put in pretty much what we were asked for in the long-term plan. And so I'm just wondering why that's not been enough.
Well, there was a significant reduction to the funding. So it was 1.5 and then it dropped to 600, which actually was a configuration of 100 and then another
Patchwork of different
200
funds,
patchwork of numbers. So the funding got cut quite drastically to continue. So it's lost a bit of momentum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing support, don't get us
that
wrong.
one, but
Yeah.
But it really dropped from 1.5 to 600.
Because the advice that we'd got was that it was enough.
No.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yanni, please, and then we'll move on.
I don't think that was quite the advice. I think the advice was we had some carry forward because there's been a few delays. So there would be a short, there'd be a short time, like a year where the carry forward would be there. But I was just really keen to understand what's happening at the university. Has there been any progress on that development? And also, are you able to give us an indication of any discussions with Christchurch NZ about future opportunities to support? Thank you.
I'll just talk to the university part. So as far as I'm aware, the university is interested in creating a strategy with Christchurch NZ and the Screen Office and industry, but that has yet to happen. We already do have a screen strategy which was written in 2020 or 21, but that does need to be revamped and presented, so that would be probably a next step. I know that they're building infrastructure. I know they're 100% behind the screen industry. They need a pipeline to put their students through. They've got huge investment, as you know, into the screen sector through what they're doing. But we have not had an opportunity to talk to Christchurch NZ at all. So we hope that that will be the next step.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks.
kia ora.